In the last episode, I said the real question is not whether AI can do the task, it's whether it actually improves the decision. So for this episode, I built a custom GPT to help generate channel ideas, and I wanted to test one thing. Did it actually help me find better ideas, or did it just make ideation feel more productive? Because getting a list is not proof. That part's easy. The real question is whether the ideas were better for the audience, better for the channel, and better for the kinds of videos I should actually make. That matters because small creators can lose a lot of time here. A tool can give you 20 ideas and still not move you any closer to a video that's worth making. That's not progress. That's just cleaner confusion. As for context, I'm an IT professional and software developer, so building the GPT was not the hard part. The hard part was whether it actually improved my judgment. I'm also not coming at this like a YouTube growth guru. I'm testing tools on a real channel and trying to figure out what actually helped. So I didn't build this in a vacuum. I gave it real channel context, real audience constraints, and real rules for what this series is supposed to be. That way the test was based on real creator decisions, not made up examples. The setup was simple. I gave the GPT the kind of information a creator should actually care about. Who the audience is, what the channel is trying to do, what fits the lane, what feels generic, and what kinds of ideas are actually useful. Then I asked it to generate channel ideas. And this is where the test got more interesting, because the first thing I learned is that output is not the same as insight. It could absolutely produce ideas. The problem was that a lot of them were only good on the surface. So I ended up sorting the outputs into 3 buckets: generic, salvageable, and usable. And that told me a lot more than just asking whether the GPT could generate ideas. Here's the first example: the best AI tool for small YouTube creators. This is the kind of idea that looks practical and still misses the point. It's weak. It's a tool demo. Why? It makes the software the star instead of the creator decision. It pushes the real viewer question into the background. The fix is to anchor the video around one use case and one verdict. Something more like, I tried using AI to save time on my channel planning. It did nothing for my actual videos. That was the first pattern. A practical looking idea can still be off. The second example, I used AI to audit my channel. That sounds more specific, but it still has a big problem. It's weak, it's too broad. Why? Audit my channel could mean niche, titles, thumbnails, content mix, audience fit, or SEO all at once. That breaks the one question rule. The fix? Narrow it to one real problem with one real verdict. So the stronger version becomes, I asked the AI why my videos weren't getting clicks. The advice sounded right, and it was still too generic. That was the next lesson. Specific wording is not enough if the actual scope is still mush. The third example, can AI help small creators write better titles? This one's relevant, but it's still weak as a video premise. It's weak, it's tutorial framing. Why? It sounds organized, but it doesn't force a real test, a real result, or a useful verdict. The fix is to turn it into a win, a miss, or a trade-off. Something more like, I had AI write 30 titles for me. None of them solved the real problem. That's the difference. The topic is fine. The angle is what makes it a video. Then I got the first output that felt generally useful. I let AI pick my next video topic. It chose the smartest wrong option. That one worked, because now there's already a case inside the premise. One creator decision, one use case, and a built-in verdict. It directly tests the question I care about most. Did it improve judgment, or did it just produce an option that looked smart on paper? That was the real difference. This was the first idea that felt like an actual episode instead of a category. So that was the overall pattern. The GPT was weak at giving me finished ideas I should trust on site, but it was useful for showing me where ideas were drifting. Too broad, too tool first, too tutorial shaped, or too generic to be worth making. That part was real. Where it struggled was the part that matters most. It didn't naturally know which ideas had the strongest viewer attention. It did not reliably know which ideas had the clearest promise. And it definitely did not replace taste, judgment, or channel instinct. If anything, it made those more important. I think that's the part a lot of creators miss. When the output looks polished, it becomes easy to overcredit the tool. Polished is not the same as audience fit. Clean phrasing is not the same as a strong premise. And a full list of ideas is not the same as having a good one. So here's the honest verdict. As an idea generator, the custom GPT was mixed. As a filtering and refinement tool, it was more useful. It didn't give me finished ideas I should trust. It mostly helped me spot weak directions faster and sharpen the ones that were worth keeping. Which means, at least in this test, it looks less like a magic growth engine and more like a workflow tool with some growth value when the channel rules are already strong. And that also means the human job didn't disappear, it just moved. Instead of staring at a blank page, the job became judge harder, reject faster, and keep sharpening the idea until the viewer promise is actually worth clicking. That's the real lesson from this test. The GPT helped a little with the ideation, but didn't solve ideation. So in the next episode, I want to test the next step in the chain, titles and thumbnails. Because maybe AI is average at choosing ideas, but better at packaging them. Or maybe it just makes average packaging tools look cleaner. That's the next test.